93.5, 1590 WAKR. This is the Memorial Day weekend, and in many years gone by, traditionally, it was the opening of the summer movie blockbuster season for movies. Now, things have certainly changed in most recent history where you're seeing blockbusters throughout, but a lot of them are saved for the summertime season. But with COVID-19 here last summer season, completely different, obviously, what are we going to look at this summer? Joining us live this morning, good friend of ours here on the morning show, Joe Fortunato. Joe is a current film professor and kind enough to join us this morning. Joe, what are you hearing in regards to the summer blockbuster season?
Well, good morning, Ray, and thanks for having me on. The theaters are trying to get back into gear, and they've got a slate of movies for this summer that is somewhat, I don't want to say typical, because I don't think it's quite as voluminous as it has been in the past. But, I mean, there's a lot of horror movie sequels, there's superhero movies, there's animated family pictures, there's a couple of popcorn movies, movies starring The Rock. So a little bit of everything that we've come to expect for the summer blockbuster season is on the slate for this summer.
Joe, the one thing I was reading is months and months ago, the new Mission Impossible movie was pushed back. The 007 was pushed back. The Top Gun sequel was pushed back into the fall type of season. So I was scratching my head saying, okay, they're pushing that back. I understand that because the theaters might not be alive and well in the summer season, but things have changed. What's left? Can you give us some details on some of the films we can anticipate and maybe some of the ones you're excited about?
Definitely, Ray. And some of the big, the Bond film is a big one that people are looking forward to, and that's been pushed back towards the fall and Christmas seasons. So you're absolutely right about that. But we do have a lot this coming summer. Right out of the gate here, this weekend, Cruella from Disney, the sort of the backstory on Cruella de Vil is hitting the theaters, and it's going to be on Disney Plus as a premium option. In The Quiet Place Part 2, which is a sequel to The Quiet Place, which is what John Krasinski directed John Krasinski from The Office directed with his wife, which was a popular horror film that's now getting a sequel. So those are coming out this weekend. Some of the things that are big on the docket, Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights is going to come out June 11th. That's going to be on HBO Max and in theaters. The Fast and the Furious sequel, the newest one, is F9. That's going to be in theaters June 25th. Now, a lot of these movies are only going to be in theaters, so the theaters are really hoping that people are going to come back to see them. But probably the biggest one of the summer is Black Widow. That's the newest in the Marvel universe, and that's going to be in theaters and on Disney Plus July 9th.
Current film professor with us, Joe Fortunato, here on WAKR. He's done the film studies with the Akron Summit County Public Library for many years and such. Joe, let me ask you this. In looking at research, I know you do this each and every day, are people starting to come back to the theaters now?
Well, certainly the relief of the mask mandate, although a lot of theaters are still going to have mask requirements in their individual theaters, probably helps a little bit. I think people are eager to come back. The big test was last month when Godzilla vs. Kong was released, and that was released both in theaters and on HBO Max. And it was the best. It had the highest box office of the whole entire pandemic. So it did $390 million globally and about $80 million domestically, which by normal summer blockbuster standards isn't super high, but by pandemic standards, it was the highest of the entire year.
Joe Fortunato is with us on WAKR. Joe, what about the side of the industry that I know you're really glued to, and that is the production, the directing of the movies in the last year and a half? How difficult has that been to get movies done? How many are kind of in the stall waiting to get released or waiting to get completed with COVID-19 still here?
Well, production ramped up. I mean, it stopped for a few months when the pandemic really first started. But then there was Hollywood protocols put in place to make safe productions available. It cost a little bit more money, so some lower budget productions might not have had the money to finish their productions. But most Hollywood films and bigger budget things would have had the money to put in place the safe protocols to keep shooting. So there is a backlog of films ready to be released, and you can't release them all in the same weekend, so they have to be spread out.
All right, Joe. Thanks for joining me this morning. Anything that I missed that you'd like to relate to the audience this morning pertaining to the industry, the summer season and such? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, just because it's sort of got an Akron story to it with LeBron James. The new Space Jam, A New Legacy, is coming out July 16th. That's going to be on HBO Max and in theaters, so that might be of interest to those of us in Akron.
Yeah, I forgot that was coming out. That's a can't miss for sure in my family. Joe, great stuff as always, my friend. I'll stay in contact. Thanks for accepting the invite and coming on with me today again.
Thanks, Ray. I appreciate it.
Joe Fortunato, again, current film professor, and of course, he joins us from time to time. Really have enjoyed his film studies at the Akron Summit County Public Library for years.